Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another auction highlight video on the Psychedelic Art Exchange YouTube channel. Today, we're going to take a closer look at some really intriguing items we have in the May Mega Auction, which is, of course, live now and is going to end on Monday, May 25th at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, which is Memorial Day. So make sure you mark your calendar since it's a little bit different than what we usually do. It's Monday, not a Sunday, when our auctions typically end. Anyway, that's enough of the boring stuff. Our feline guest of honor today is Stella taking a little nap. Let's look at some collectibles.
Yeah, this sale is full of all sorts of curiosities, and we have several of them on the easel today. And it's just, it's amazing the stuff that comes through the sale. It's all sorts of stuff from so many different perspectives and from different collectors. And this one is a perfect example of, how way out our sale gets sometimes. And yeah, well, we'll just kick off with this really interesting item. This is the first time, the only time I've ever, run into one of these. And this is a piece of LSD history ephemera that, not many of these exist, but this is a card that, as legend has it, was dropped from the sky with a hit of orange sunshine in it. I don't know, Katie, you did some of the research on this piece. Did you dig up anything?
Yeah. I mean, it was there were like about 25,000 of these cards, I guess, that were just dropped from a plane in the middle of this this like Christmas festival that was happening in Laguna Beach. It was 1970. And it was like all free, like free acid, free music, I think. And yeah, there was a little piece of acid taped to the card. It was the Brotherhood of Eternal Love that did that whole thing. It was acid rain, right? From the sky.
The brother. Oh, go on.
Oh no, it's just there. There was like one other that I could find. There's not a lot that seemed to be out there. It's very unique.
Yeah, I mean the Brotherhood were involved, in a lot of the distribution of Orange Sunshine. They were the LSD syndicate, but it's a real interesting story on its own that those of you who are interested might want to dig into a little bit further. But this card, it reminds me of the Sunshine cards, those butterfly cards that also had a hole in them to put a tab in that they were going to send through the mail. Those things are scarce and beautiful. If you come across those butterfly cards, I mean, we've sold the Sunshine cards that were inserted into the butterfly card with the hit of acid, but we've only handled the butterfly card maybe once or twice, and they're gone. They haven't come back. But so if this is your thing, if LSD and psychedelic history is your bag, this is a good piece. And so moving along to what is really an incredible piece, there's this photograph, a real photograph, not what we have today that looks like photographs. This is a photo of Jerry circa 1971 by Annie Leibovitz, who became the most known Rolling Stone photographer and had a career way beyond that, but she's so important. And to have something in, of Jerry with her studio stamp on it, I think this is a really big piece. This is, photography is a completely different area than the posters. And there's a lot of, really valuable photography out there. We've had a couple great pieces come through our sale. We've had some Jim Marshall photos, who was also a Rolling Stone photographer, that got great shots, and they did really well. But this is the first Annie Leibovitz, and you might note that we've been selling these Rolling Stone bound editions in our sale recently, and it's amazing flipping through these things, mostly for the photos and the advertisements. You should take a look at these things are they're going way too cheap, but they're awesome. If you like rock and roll literature, I mean, Rolling Stone was it.
I mean, they're not as cool looking, maybe, from at first blush, but when you get into them, they're really cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
Um,
building a rock and roll library, they're kind of essential.
yeah. But this is really, really cool. That photo is very like it's like relatively unseen. It's not an image that's like floating around a lot. His kid is in the background playing.
It's
And there are some other photos from that same shoot where he's wearing the same outfit and everything that are a little more widely seen. But
yeah, the one
those are
where he's lying on his back at Stinson
yeah,
Beach. That's like the
yeah.
most famous from this session. So
Mhm.
for those
Very
of
cool.
you who know, anyhow,
The
really
real ones.
watch this piece. And then another interesting piece that references the Grateful Dead that was not originally intended to be a Grateful Dead thing, but this is NR 13, and somebody got a hold of a bunch of copies and printed this Grateful Dead thing on top of it, and it's become, you know, a real collector's item as this stuff unfolds. The NR13 alone, I mean, it's, you know, it's a great image and all that. The bands didn't really, you know, hold up over time, and someone figured out a way to move some of these posters, I guess. I'm not exactly sure the story, but I'd like to, you know, understand how many copies and how much this happened. But this is a cool little piece that doesn't come up that often. And you know, it's another Neon Rose, which Victor really had it going. This was his own line of posters that he pitched to the Matrix and a couple other venues, I guess, and he got to print them up and keep the extra stock, and he fed them as merch over the years, but some of them have really come up in value, you know, nowadays. So
Wow.
so there's that piece. And then the Bird's Ball. I mean, you know, again, I don't remember ever seeing this before, and it's not in wonderful shape, but the paper's pretty much there. It's got some tape stains and whatnot, but this is, you know, the Birds in '65 at the Hollywood
Yeah,
Palladium.
Los Angeles. Yeah.
I mean, listen, swing, dance. I mean, the Birds were so many different things. I mean, the Birds were a folk rock band, and then a, you know, I mean, they were a folk band, then a folk rock band, then a psychedelic band, and then, you know, personnel changed, and then they were like the innovators of country rock with Graham Parsons, and just such a you know, influential and important band. They actually started out wanting to be like the, you know, sound like the Beatles. That was their whole thing. They were, you know, and so
Who didn't?
McGuinn with the Rickenbacker. That's why I bought the Rickenbacker. And then you know, with Tambourine Man, they were reluctant to record it. McGuinn didn't think it was all that. He was not, you know, he wasn't all that taken with Dylan, and it ends up being like, you know, what introduced the world to Bob Dylan outside of the folk circle. And so, yeah, I think.
And this was really shortly after that, actually. So this is like a very cool point in time.
Yeah, this is, yeah, the Birds. I mean, you know, yeah. What do you? What more to say? Anyhow, moving right along. We have a poster from Hawaii in 1973, and you know, this gives us a chance to talk about Jay Giles Band, one of the most underappreciated, underrated, whatever, rock, you know, R&B bands. You know, they formed in '67 in Massachusetts, and they were fire. You know, they never gained commercial appeal until they started putting out some pop songs in the '80s, you know, Freeze Frame and Centerfold and whatnot. But they were a rockin' band that influenced so many, you know, like Springsteen, the E Street Band, that whole, I mean, highly influential. And you know, I'm on this trip where I think that like they must have leaked into the New York Dolls influence, because I think the New York Dolls are like a cross between Jay Giles Band and the Stooges. I know that's a weird, I mean, you know, we're just talking here, you know.
I mean, not really. I'm pretty sure you called me a few weeks ago and you were like all on this Jay Giles Band trip. And you were like, have you ever listened to them? You got to listen to them right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, the more you listen and the more you dig in, there's more to find. And they show up on a lot of posters. They toured a
Yeah,
lot.
they
They played a
do.
lot of shows. And here they are with Elvin Bishop, who was, the blues guitar player, played in Butterfield Blues Band, and has toured for years. And just
Mhm.
he's still alive.
Well,
So and it's from Hawaii. This poster is whatever. It doesn't show up. I know I say that a lot, but. And
but
speaking
it's
of that,
true.
all right, so this one really geeks me out. This is, as far as historical nature, I mean, it's on this thin, cottony. I mean, this is a really
Yeah.
fragile piece. Whoever gets this might want to consider linen back. And no, you wouldn't, because there's stuff on the back.
It is double-sided, which we can't show you right now, but there will be a
I mean,
picture that that is edited in.
yeah. I mean, yeah. On this, I mean, it just the influences here. I mean, Jimmy Reed, who influenced so much of rock and roll, and Sister Rosetta Tharpe. I mean, Jimmy Reed, Big Boss Man. You've seen that. Everyone's seen that video of Sister Rosetta Tharpe with the white SG that she's just like killing hound dog
The
or something like that.
coolest.
Yeah, and Hooker. And on the back, you got Howlin' Wolf and John Mayall in '64, where the whole this is the birth of the British blues scene, coming, of course, from America, and then
Right.
recycling it. I mean, the Ricky Tick Club was pretty well known for some of the acts that came through during that time.
Yeah, I mean, all of like the major rock guys came through there, like Hendrix and Cream, all of the bands that you know and love
The
so well.
Yardbirds,
But
all that,
yeah,
yeah. And they,
but also they were like pretty responsible for introducing Motown music to the UK. So that's pretty cool. It had a few different locations, but it was a very prominent place for music in
and
the
this
UK
is
around
where
this time.
the Stones and some of those early British invasion bands got to hear this American music,
Right.
and the whole thing started rolling. So, but this is I don't know how many copies of this exist, but I can't imagine many, especially as fragile as the paper is. But this is take a look at this one.
Very cool. And that's just a handful of 100 posters, handbills, cards, photographs, all these different things that we have in the mega, because the mega auction spans sort of the entirety of the collectible rather than just like zeroing in on one thing. So that's cool. Check it out. It is open again until Monday, May 25th, Memorial Day, 9:00 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you as always for tuning into our videos. We would love to hear from you in the comments, and all the links that you could possibly need are in the description. Enjoy your holiday weekend, and we will see you back here real soon. Say goodbye to this very sleepy cat.
Goodbye, Stella.
Bye.